Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book, and
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a
It was a
visual.
lot.
I had a visual.
He's proud of it.
Hold on, let me turn it on.
Hello and good morning for Friday. I am joined in the studio by Mike and Kevin. Pumped to have you in. And this is going to be a high energy Friday. So get yourself situated for it all. What's up, Kevin? How are
Strap
you?
it in!
Oh my God. Holy cow. So I'm going to hand the floor over to you, Mike. So maybe you can talk about your involvement, the center, which is going to be opening here in Mashpee on Route 151. We're really excited to bring a wellness center to our town.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
how you're involved with Kevin Kearns
This
in
guy
our
over
studio,
here,
right?
Yeah, this knucklehead.
Yeah, what I've realized though is it might be a little too early for Kevin. I don't know.
No,
Wake
no,
up,
no.
people.
It's
Here we
never
go.
too early for
Here we
Kevin.
go.
Let's kick the tires like the fires.
That's awesome.
I'm Sijo Mike from what is going to be a wonderful new addition to our community, the Center for Wellness in Mashpee, also the home of my Kung Fu family and MBWK Family Martial Arts Academy. We're so excited, myself, my partner Bree Motil from Brilliantly Balanced. Stephanie has been a big piece of our growth here. She's introduced me to some great people, given us some great PR. And we got our grand opening coming up on November 2nd from
So
10
fast.
to 3, wicked fast.
You better get the date correct.
Yes,
Okay.
November 2nd. We're actually featuring this guy right here. He's going to open the show. Well, we're going to open the show with a lion dance, go right into Kevin, burn with Kerns. Kevin and myself have created some kind of a weird relationship here where he...
What do you want? You want to bring that up
abuses-
right now? I don't think you want to bring that up on the radio.
I love
This is
it.
supposed to be clean.
Yeah.
I know, right?
What's up,
Well,
Lauren?
we can't tell you what we do at the studio, but it hurts. And
In a good way.
In a good, yeah,
honestly,
in a good way,
in a very good way.
good way.
Let's
It's a
get
good
weird.
hurt. Pain is weakness leaving the
Oh
body.
yes, as a
Okay.
classic Marine would say.
Yes, that's right. Get her done. Anyway, okay, big things. 90-day challenge. Kevin has formulated a great 90-day challenge. He's had me on it for a couple weeks now. And let me tell you something. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I've done everything from P90X to TRX to whatever else was the fad back in the 80s, 90s, and all that. I've never had such an effective workout in my life.
All right.
And
That's a lot.
That's not PR, and I don't blow smoke, and I wouldn't have him here if I couldn't say this. I'd keep him hidden over at my studio.
Well, you know what, Kevin? I'm really excited to have you in Mashpee. You have lit a storied life.
Yeah.
It really, and you've made books out of it. So
Ta-da!
I know Kevin Kearns always picked last, and that book was read, and you got a letter in the mail from a former first lady.
Yes. Technically, yes. Well, and I appreciate Sijo bringing me down. It's always strange. I've been in the business now just as long as he has, and that's not a dig. That's just it's on kind of interesting. I think we were other brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's Italian and Irish, and I'm Irish Italian.
Okay.
It's
It's a big distinction, everyone.
Yeah, right.
wicked. Big. But see, he was from Dorchester. He never went over the north, over the Tobin Bridge to
Right.
to get to Everett, and I never
that
went
side of the
past.
tracks.
Well, you understand, right? When you're in the North Shore, the North Shore, after the North Shore, the Tobin
don't
Bridge,
mix.
the world ends. No, the world ends.
That's where it is.
Certainly
So
does.
when this came to light, it was kind of interesting because we have a program called Self Defense for You, which we were pushing to realtors, which
Mhm.
we are still doing for the past year.
Okay.
And then Corinne introduced us, who's one of his friends, Custon
Corinne Constazzo.
Costanzo.
Oh, I love
She's a
Corinne.
good Irish girl. Corinne,
Yeah.
Corinne Costanzo.
Corinne, if you're watching, I
Costanzo.
love you. And
Costanzo.
thank you.
Costanzo.
Thank you for this.
Are you sure about
And
that?
thank you for that.
We're both on the board of the Mashpee Chamber of Commerce, so I know Corinne very well. She's wonderful.
She's a great lady. She found me my space. She found
That's
me my Kevin.
amazing.
My Kevin? Hey, no, I don't think so. Anyway, Victoria's gonna have a problem with that. Anyway, so
What's up, Don?
when we got introduced, Corinne wanted to bring me down the Cape to do one of these things, to self-defense for you. And she's like, I don't know, we need to find a space. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, she met me at an EXP event.
Yeah.
And I kind of, lack of a better word, crushed it. You have these, there's like 400 realtors in there like this.
Well,
Like
those
snoozing.
events tend to get really stuffy. So
You think?
that was smart to have brought you in.
You think?
This one with
think?
the energy
So this SEAL's going to, yeah, okay.
to pull a team of I don't even know what Navy SEALs themselves. Kevin's like, get on my back. Let's go.
Something to that effect. Well, she came to me, she goes, I got a guy down the Cape and he's doing this. And I go, okay. We get on the phone and like, makes sense to me. So we started talking back and forth, and he knows my background. You know, I mean, this is always pick glass. It's kind of interesting. We kind of grew up the same way. That book is the original Karate Kid. They stole the movie from me.
I believe
No,
it.
they did.
No, I believe it.
Ralph Macchio, I'm going to sue you. Anyway,
They needed somebody taller.
yes.
Oh,
What are you trying to say? What are you,
Listen to this.
6'8"? Anyway, what happened is, got picked on the whole bit, this, that, and the other thing. My father died. This is his ring. Okay, it's been on since I was 12. My father died at 48. Drank too much, ate the wrong foods. And what ended up happening is I literally sucked at every sport, got picked on. The bullying got worse. A close uncle talked me into taking karate at United Studios of Self-Defense, which, I've discussed. Charlie Machera, Paul Taylor, they kind of built the foundation.
yeah.
Didn't realize one of the best things Sijo and I have talked about is one of the things you learn in the martial arts, if you practice, you get better.
Right.
And the teachers will take the time, because when you look at martial arts training, a lot of kids that aren't good at sports get into that,
Mhm.
or sports athletes use it as cross training.
Right.
And it took off. And I've spent 40 years now, from Kempo karate to, Mark Delagrati, Sityong Muay Thai for the past 20 something years.
There's so many systems
Oh.
out there.
Well, the foundation is this, and Sijo will agree with me in this: discipline,
Mhm.
honor, character, integrity, self-control.
Mhm.
It's not about fighting. It's about not fighting.
Yeah.
Now, how do you fuse that together? Well, I was lucky enough that, I got into weight training, got into personal training, got my degree in exercise physiology, and then ended up in, I always tell people, and Sijo and I have had multiple conversations about this, about, you have opportunities in life,
Yeah.
and they, you either take them or you don't take them. And there are choices in life. So a lot of times, I've done talks. I work at Boys and Girls Clubs in Pawtucket.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Anti-bullying. I'm working on a YMCA program now.
It's a big conversation right now. And I
Huge.
think that that's where it all began for you.
Oh,
you,
yes.
you were a kid from a household that, had an alcoholic dad,
Mm.
was very ostracized, was teased and picked on.
Oh,
These are
constantly.
conversations that are still, and unfortunately, in our schools
Yes.
every single week, every single month. You're seeing workshops on how we can deal with this better. And I think it's now worse
Oh, it's
because it's
social media.
Way
constant.
worse.
Social media.
Correct.
Social media.
These kids are doing scary stuff now, and what the kids are doing because of the bullying now is way more.
Yeah, it's
scary.
tougher.
They're
And
going inside. They're on their screens. They're
Oh.
doing things that I didn't even know about when I was, we would go outside and play and stay away from people.
yeah,
These
because we could
kids,
shut it off.
We could shut it
Small
off.
moments, small
Yeah,
windows.
and the embarrassment factor goes through the roof. I mean, you look at everything that happened the past number of years. Mental health challenges are through the roof. I
Yeah.
went through my own struggle. That's my second book with it.
Well,
There's
that's
Light in the Tunnel. I mean, we
Also
don't
a
know the implications.
conversation. Yeah, that is a big conversation right now, is mental health and how we're addressing that. And we do a poor job of it in the United States. And I
Sure
think
do.
that this is really wonderful that you're showing this progressive journey to figure out, how do I help myself? We're always looking for ways to do that.
Absolutely. And I would agree with Sijo that, of going through my own struggles through divorce and everything else. And believe me, my divorce is like a Dateline episode. Trust me. He and I have had conversations
Oh,
about
no.
this. Yeah. No joke. In 2019, it was really bad. About a year after my divorce, and the scar on my left side of my neck is real. I tried to attempt suicide, and then came out of that, and thank God for McLean. And then I wrote a book on it. Then I decided to really help people with the mental health. That's why I'm trying to do my first TED Talk,
Yeah.
because the idea behind the TED Talk is true mental health through physical health.
Yeah.
Because he and I both know we've lived kind of the same lives. You have to put that time aside into your physicality to get yourself mentally clear.
It's a good conversation to be starting, because I think that we are not addressing whole wellness.
Well,
We try and fix the one small issue, whether it's alcoholism or whether it's your mental health or whether it's X, Y, and Z. But when we're not addressing the whole human, we're not going to be fully fixed.
like Sijo mentioned this the other day. I don't even think he said it in passing. What's the root cause?
Right.
Let's get to the root. And it's almost, you start looking at martial arts. Well, what's your root? What is your root? does your foundation? Where does
Yeah.
the foundation come from? So I think that's important. And I think the other thing, the idea behind this with the 90-day challenge is get people kind of a Kickstarter.
Mhm.
Is it a 90-day challenge or is it a 90-day lifestyle?
Yeah,
So
well, that's it.
you
You're
gotta
not
start
making-
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Sam says, hello and good morning, Bella and Anthony. Say good morning. Kelly said, I'm so glad that you survived and thrived. You have a great spirit
Thanks,
and a good
girls.
energy.
I try. I make coffee nervous.
Yeah, right. Good morning, Sarah and Trish. Bev, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
John, I can't even believe you're visiting us on your vacation. And
Hey!
Chris Ball, I know we're in Cabo
Hey,
right
Chris.
now.
Cobble?
Cabo,
Cabo.
San
Cabo?
Lucas.
Well, how come we weren't invited?
Right?
Come
Well-
on.
I know. We're sitting here in the basement on the Cape.
I know.
Extra for the 90-day challenge because she comes back.
And
Anyway,
Lauren also says, same thing, shitty childhood, hey McLean, fam in the house. Like these, you're talking to other people that have walked this.
it's a great subject, and Sijo and I have talked about it. I think it's impossible to get past age 30 without some trauma.
Mhm.
Now, what's the best way to do that? Physicality is one of the best way. I mean, if you talk to any psychologist, you've talked to people. Sijo, I know you have too. And you sit there and you go, okay, they say, I remember years ago, the psychiatrist, she's like, punch a pillow, punch a heavy bag.
Oh,
Punch
pillow.
a pillow, don't do it.
No, well,
Sorry.
after this workout today, Sijo's going to punch me, but that's besides the point. I kind of like
He won't
that.
be able to lift his arm. It's fine.
That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway,
You know what it brings us to? And the funny part about this whole thing is maybe 4 months ago, 120 days ago, none of this was in my life.
Yeah.
And you know what I had to do to affect all the positive change and the things that are coming, my relationship with Kevin, my relationship with Bree, with you, and being here, because I made a change. I got out of the rut that my life had brought me into.
Mhm.
Growing up, we come from the same place. I come from the city. I grew up in a very, I guess you could call it, strange household, but it was normal to us.
We're weirdos.
So then we get out
Embrace
here
it.
in the world, and that's all we got to go back on is how we were raised. Honestly, thank God I went into the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And the Marine Corps was the physicality.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The Army also helped me. I feel like
that's
that
what
discipline.
absolutely.
It kicked me in. Marine Corps was unbelievably physical. And what I realize now, knowing what I know now, is that that's what I needed to kick me to the right road.
Yeah.
Because I could have very easily gone down the wrong road.
Kick you in the ass. In
Well,
other words.
once again,
Certainly
it's a
did.
system. It's one of those things where you're just out there flailing and you don't know what to do. And this is why people buy the P90Xs. This is why people buy into these things, looking for ways for help.
Absolutely.
Help me, help myself.
Absolutely.
What do I do? What do I
There
take?
could be a big conversation that I'm not going to get into about their methods and their methods.
Well,
back in the
100%, because
80s.
we don't know any better. It's marketing also. So it's one of
But
those things, but you don't know it until you
They-
live it.
They broke us down for 3 days. They broke you down.
Yeah.
And they started with putty that they could mold. And Kevin's kind of picking up now. And 30 years later, he's picking up the putty
Yeah.
that's left and reshaping me. And this is reshaping me. And we have to look at the whole person.
Yes.
And the physicality side is where we have something in common. We met for the first time out in Plymouth at a restaurant. And I literally said to my wife when I left, I think this guy's my brother from another mother.
It's
Because we
nice
had
when you connect with
so many
someone
things
else
in
like that.
common.
And it doesn't happen often. And sometimes we don't let ourselves do that as grown-ups.
No,
Like we
don't.
have our people, we have our tribe, we have our squad,
No.
and we kind of stay stagnant. And Lauren said a great thing: continue to make changes every day in order to live your best life. And you're doing it.
Well,
Well,
I'm doing it.
I think the big thing is, and I tell this to kids, and I say, and Sijo would say the same thing. I'm sure you would do too, Stephanie. What's your why?
Yeah.
I've got 7 tattoos. This one on my arm is my saying: hold your vision, keep your passion, maintain and invest in your perseverance, no matter what anybody tells you.
Mhm.
So I think that's the big connection. And I also want to go back to dovetail what you said about discipline. Okay. One of the greatest quotes, I think Joe Rogan, a friend of mine, said this, and he said, when motivation dies, motivation's great,
Yeah.
but discipline has to take over. And
Mhm.
what is that? And people give such a bad word. That's tattoo is discipline. People give such a bad kind of connotation with discipline. But what is it? Following a structure.
Mhm.
Following a structure. I had the privilege and honor of working with 15 UFC athletes.
Right.
People go, how'd you get there? I go, right place, right time. Opportunity.
Mhm.
And then I saw a hole in that whole idea of their training, because they were training like bodybuilders.
Right.
Came up with a system, put it on DVD on a shoestring, and it went global. I went, okay.
Right.
And then we turned into a certification
There's
course.
something there.
But you look at that and you look at the discipline of these guys. They're doing, as you know, I mean, you've seen fighters 2-3 times a day. And, you know, not to get any other sports athlete, but you look at fighters. I mean, there is no day off.
Yeah.
And the discipline.
Pure gasoline.
Oh, and you literally have to just discipline yourself. But the thing that Sijo and I agree on is the big thing is I always saw, and I know he said it for years, and I've said it for years, a melding of martial arts and fitness together.
Okay.
Because some people think, well, it's martial arts. This is fitness. I go, well, why can't you combine the two?
Yeah.
Why not? It works.
Yeah.
And what Kevin's doing is what I've been trying to do for a long time. Those of you who know me, you remember martial fitness. You remember Studio X, cardio kickboxing back in the day on Route 130 at Bowden Road over at Dino's Plaza. I've been trying to do these things, and I saw somebody who's done it. He's where I want to be. And you know what? You don't hang out with people who aren't where you want to be.
Right.
And
absolutely. You are the sum of the people that you hang out with, 100%.
And let me tell you something. I've cut some people out and I've added some people in, and look where we're going.
Well, I mean, I think that you're a true testament to I'm not going to give up. I'm not
him.
You know, he is. He's like back on the horse again, and I'm doing it again. And I love that, though. I think it's important. Perseverance is another one of those things. See, it's another one of those things that you can't teach. You just have to go through it. You just have to do it.
My favorite thing to hear is, and every time I hear it, I make more money. I'm too old to do this.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Too
old. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
and Abraham Lincoln was 47 when he became president, which was considered old, and he was a failure to everything else.
Right.
Too old.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is out there, and it is part of taking that first step. And there's a reason why these systems do work. It's called a recipe. And yes, when you make a recipe, usually it turns out the way everybody has that plan. Yes. Can you create things without a recipe? Sure.
Well, I think I love that idea, and to dovetail on Sijo's thing, I think one of the key concepts, especially in martial arts, self-defense training, whatever you want to call it, martial fitness, all of it's all the same, is there's no judgment.
Yeah.
We don't care what size you are when you walk in the building, right? Sijo, he walked in. He's got a halo around his waist. You're what, 20 years old at the time? And first thing his Kung Fu teacher says,
talking about a medical thing.
Right. It's just
he doesn't have a halo here. No way. Wait a minute. Neither do I. Anyway.
An external fixator device.
Okay.
When he almost died, and the teacher and his teacher said, put your walker aside. He was told that he was never going to walk at 35.
Yeah.
Okay, 35. How old?
Yeah.
You're 57.
I thought you were 38. You told me you're 38. You liar. God. But you look like you're 38. Well, that's
I'm
what's
so
up,
cute.
Seth? Hi, Lisa.
I don't know about that.
Sit at the table with people who support each other. Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing here.
I appreciate that, Lisa. Here's one of my favorite quotes, and not to get political, because believe me, we're not even going to go down there. JFK, I believe it's JFK said, the rising tide raises all boats.
That's it.
The rising tide. We have to work together as a community. Yeah. You know, sometimes I laugh. I joke around with my girlfriend, Sarah. I say, you know, and Sijo and I have had this conversation. I think, you know, people say, oh, the aliens are coming. I go, they're not coming. They're probably looking down us. Go, you didn't get it yet.
They're already here.
That money doesn't matter, and race and all that doesn't matter. Can't you guys all work together? You think they want to invade us? What are they? They're going to go, they haven't figured it out yet. Maybe another 1,000 years. Yeah. You know, so let's all work together for making people healthy, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally at the same time.
So you've got this amazing background of entrepreneurship mixed in with some of your life struggles, and you've made it your life.
Well, let's take a page from that. You're an entrepreneur. Sijo's an entrepreneur. I am. What is entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
But struggles.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? Small businesses account for what? 55% of American businesses.
Yeah.
And you look at that, you're going to fail. But I have one of my talks I do at schools, at corporations. How do you know what sharp is until you cut yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know what's hard until you burn yourself? How do you know what failure is until you fall flat in the face?
Yeah,
and then you have to have
true.
the ability to get back up and keep going forward.
Yeah.
Or as Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, there is no such thing as failure. You just produce results you didn't expect.
Right. There you go. Surprise. This is where I'm going today.
It's only 9,999 light bulbs that I didn't make. Well,
right.
There's funny stories. Like if you listen to, I think Sijo listened to this too, WD-40. You know why it's called WD-40? because it didn't work 39 times.
I like that. If
Seriously.
that's true.
Post-it notes. He was trying to make a permanent
That's
globe.
it. That's true. That's it.
You know,
What's up, Desara?
It comes down to this: if you're afraid to fail, you're never going nowhere.
Well,
I've
that's-
probably failed at more things.
How many
then you
people have
people
that in the
have
back of
tried.
their head that let them not do things?
Oh,
how
I
many
would say most
excuses
people.
do you make for yourself that
Yeah.
you not let yourself
Fear,
do?
right?
Yeah.
Fear. What is fear? If you look at the great motivational speaker Zig Ziglar, false evidence appearing real. Look, it is scary. Life is scary. That's just the way it is. It's more scary than it used to be. We've got social media. We got bombarded with this. We don't know. There's no more Walter Cronkite. We don't know what to believe in the news. Nothing. It is scary. But you either stay in your house or move forward.
Yeah.
Move forward.
I know. And that taking that first step, maybe talk about that a little bit and how you get people to say, I'm going to go burn with Kerns today. I'm going to take that first step. How did you take your first step when you were like, that's it. I'm going to make this center. I'm going to put this together.
How did I do it?
Yeah.
I had no choice. I was like, I'm looking around.
What am I doing here?
What am I doing here? I was going nowhere. I was spinning my wheels in my martial arts studio. I was spinning my wheels in my career. I had no career because I wasn't teaching for a career.
But you've
anymore.
done that before. You're like, I've done that before. I can do this again. Let's get
Yes.
this engine moving again.
Yes,
A lot of
this is-
people may have never done that. How do you encourage somebody to say, all right, I'm going to try this. I'm going to throw myself at this and
You-
really give it a shot?
When opportunity knocks, he was just saying it before. You see that opportunity, you have to take it. You have to be scared as hell and take it. In 1997, somebody said to me, and it was that instructor that told me to put my walker in the corner, and he told me I would be fine if I did what he said.
Mhm.
In 97, he said, well, you're not even a black sash yet, and you still run another business, but I don't want this group school anymore. Do you want to take it? And not take it, give me 20 grand. So I had to come up with money I
Okay.
didn't have, take over a school that I wasn't ranked high enough to take over
Mhm.
and take over these students that had no respect for me. They didn't even know me. But I looked at it and I said, you know what? I need to take this opportunity. That school failed.
Yeah.
But that was my first one. If I never did that, I'd never be successful. I've been as high in the martial arts world as a couple studios, over 100 students, instructors working for me, and I've been as low as 3 students in my basement that don't even pay me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll take the 3 students over the 150 that left me when times were hard.
Mhm.
And now this thing that I'm building now, this is my 4th commercial studio that I've opened. I know a lot of the mistakes was leaving the floor open at times. Our egos get in the way, not that there would be any egos at this table, but
No, but I mean, it is difficult. It is tough wrangling a lot of strong human beings.
Yeah, well, you just got to remember, your ego is not your amigo.
There, I like that. I'm
Or-
going to use that.
Or as Dr. Wayne Dyer would, not to get religious, as Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, edging. What's ego stand for? Edging God out.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think Sijo's big thing is this, and I think I followed it. Stephanie, you've done it too. There's an old saying: when your heart speaks, take good notes. Now, if you're from Boston, you would say, when your heart speaks, shut the what up.
Because you don't listen to that.
You're going to listen to it. And, they've now done all this research, and, martial arts has known this for years. Yoga people have known this for years, that your heart is not just a pump. It actually knows.
Yeah.
It knows what's going on. I mean, he and I can share stories for hours and hours and hours. Like when I first did the Berman Kerns basement tapes, the MMA conditioning series, we had $25,000 to do 3 DVDs in 2007 in October. Do you remember what happened in November? The economy crashed.
Yeah.
We lost the sponsor, literally lost the sponsor. And I'm sitting there going, now 25 grand. Now, you got to remember, we didn't have these phones, all this fancy stuff.
Right.
We had to hire somebody, edit the whole bit. 25 grand was a good budget. One of my main fighters, Kenny Floyding was going to be in it. And I sat there and I lost it. And not only that, we had the Fit Pack, which we're doing at the 90-day challenge, which was a medicine ball band in my first DVD, 30-minute core strength workout, which nobody knew who the hell I was. And that's the way it is. That's good. Well, we'll get into that in a second. So I sat there and I go, okay, now we've got this project with the basement tapes. It's kind of blown up. We have the Fit Pack that I literally had 5,000 boxes sitting in a warehouse in Toronto. In Zellers, which is like Walgreens, was going to do a prototype, a test market for 2,500 units. 1 week later, they pulled the rug out from under me too. So I had 2 things go bang bang. It was like jab cross. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I went to my ex-wife, even though she was in the throes of her own alcoholism. I went to my ex-wife and I said, I got to do this. I pulled $10,000 out of my house, did 3 DVDs on a shoestring.
Yep.
And I went,
Yeah.
And when 1 week we made our money back.
Yeah.
You gotta, there's an old Babe Ruth had a lot of sayings, as you know. I think Babe Ruth said it best. Somebody asked him one day, how'd you get 500 home runs? You know what he said? I freaking swung.
Yeah, right.
You don't swing.
That's the way to do it.
Swing.
Yeah.
Take the chance.
You can't hit a home run if you don't get up to bat.
No.
And this time, I had made my relationships, and you work on your relationships your whole life.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been saying to Bree for over almost 6 years now. I'm really not sure why we met, because me and Bree have hit on a couple different things. We did the wiring thing. We've done product sales, and nothing ever really matched. And we sometimes wouldn't see each other for 6 months, but when you get back together, it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why. I sat down with her one day. We had a 30-minute conversation. I didn't want to put Kung Fu out there. That's my ego saying, oh, Kung Fu. I know everybody wants Kung Fu. I know everybody needs Kung Fu. They don't know that, though.
Right.
So when they read,
it's like everybody needs the 90-day challenge. Right?
Everybody needs the 90-day challenge.
Shameless plug.
And it's a lifestyle challenge, not just a weight loss challenge. Anyway, I said, let's do something the whole community can see, the whole community can use. Let's talk about wellness. Let's talk about the whole person, not just the physical, but the internal. We have wonderful internal classes going on, the sound baths that we're doing, some great instructors and people that really, we don't have a bunch of instructors or a bunch of people in there that are in this for the money. They love what they do. They're so excited to have a place. Oh, I can really do this.
They also do need to get paid, though. So there's
they
that.
do need to get paid.
We have to pay our bills. Oh,
I know.
Okay.
Wait, those
Come
things.
See the space, though. Come see the space. It's amazing. As a matter of fact, at 9 o'clock today, you should come over there and work out with Burn with Kerns, right? Because he's going to have me over there doing foolish things with medicine balls. And ladders and,
I thought you said there was like 9 people coming.
They're supposed to be. Let's see if they come. My daughter should be there, and I know that Sam can't make it because she had an unfortunate situation with a friend who's in the hospital.
It's all good. Well,
it's all good. We'll be there.
Well, let's go back to what you said not long ago. Everybody needs Kung Fu. Everybody needs. Why don't they? What everybody needs something internal and external.
Mhm.
Why don't they?
Right.
So I think you have to. I think one of the biggest things, and Sijo's heard me say this before in classes, and I say this is, what's wrong with sweating and smiling with people? Like he'll say the same thing, and I know he's heard it. Relationships built on the mat last forever.
Yeah.
What I like it's a non-judgment zone a
Yep.
lot of times, within respect. Okay. And he's absolutely right. Egos can get involved because we've all seen like everybody gets another stripe and their gut gets a little bigger, right? Because they're not on the floor.
I got a lot of stripes.
So, well, no, not but I thought you don't want like brown belt.
We're taking them off.
They're taking them off. But I think people once you get somebody deconditioned, conditioned, late bloomer, and like you get them moving and improving, everything gets better.
Yeah.
So you have to have that kind of mentality, and I think it's the martial art mentality, especially that martial art yoga. And I'm a big yogi now, 16 years, and I used to call it yogurt back in the day. It's like I did, and it was one of the best things.
Well, gentle movement and just a little bit of stretching goes a long way.
Let me tell you something. Some yoga classes, I look at the t-shirt like hold. I'm like. Hold. I'm like, I'm gonna kill her in about 5 seconds, and like cheer for like 3 minutes.
That's also my experience with yoga.
Right?
Jen Long says hello, by the way. She says, I love Mike.
Oh,
So glad
hello,
to see his
hello.
face this morning. We've
Oh,
got,
good. She's coming in the workout
yeah,
then,
there
right?
you go. We've
Right,
got
coming to the workout.
Kevin Kerns in the studio. We've got Mike DiMaggio in the studio. We're talking about Burn with Kerns. We're talking about the center, which is about to open here in Mashpee. Grand opening is going to be November 2nd. What are we going to be expecting from some of your classes, and how do people start getting into your tribe over there?
It's going to be scary like Halloween. So we're going to have a mixture of what's called the 90-day challenge. Now, what we do is functional strength training. What is that? I know the term has been thrown around the whole bit. All right. So we have a core principle: effective, efficient, and safe. That has to be it. Under those core principles is what we call the 8 elements of fitness. You push every day, you pull, level change, rotation, locomotion, balance, static strength, and flexibility. Those are the program models. So you're going to see a version of more core strength. We're going to be using bands, medicine balls, you name it. We use everything. And then you're going to see another thing that we have that I know Sijo's dying to have me do it. MMA Fighter Fit. Get fit without getting hit. So I had a deal with Bosu. You can find the video up on YouTube. It was called MMA Fighter Fit. Get fit without getting hit. Literally hitting the Bosu. We have classes like that.
If you don't know what a Bosu is,
it's the half stability ball that you stand on for balance, and you look kind of cool doing
that's
it.
it.
So we have those.
It's a torture device.
Why?
I think it's comfy
We're
to lay
live.
on.
Why would you say this?
I think it's
Don't
comfy
tell
to
them
lay
that.
on.
We talked about this. And then, we have other classes like, I do something called White Collar Fight Club, which is hitting and holding pads, focus mitts, tie pads, the whole bit. There's lots of stuff. And plus, his plethora of information.
Well, I think that's it. Mixing it up. For me, I get bored. I get bored easily. And then I just stop doing that. I'm like, that's boring.
There'll be no getting bored at the center. I bring in 30 years of experience in traditional Kung Fu training, which is awesome, but it's not for everybody. Everything I'm learning with Kevin, I can draw a parallel line to my martial arts training. It's so functional.
And vice versa.
It's so functional. It's so good for the body. And I've always said, if you're going to sweat and you're going to spend your money and your God-given time doing something, why not have the benefit being you could save yourself or somebody you love someday?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Sure.
just go there just to look better, or just to say you're at the gym, or just put your new yoga pants on or whatever? Although you do look pretty good in those new yoga pants. Anyway,
I'm not going to touch that. I don't believe I just said I'm not going to touch that. But anyway,
no, literally, there's not a move that we do that I can't show you. This is why we do this. It's functional.
Well,
yeah.
Well, the interesting thing behind that too is people look. I'm not going to bash any type of training. Well, maybe CrossFit. But anyway, I don't care. Seriously, I'll tell them 9 ways to Sunday. If you want to look like a bodybuilder, fine, do bodybuilding. If you want to do CrossFit, that's fine. This is about, I'm 58.
Yeah.
Okay. This is about functional strength training. And I came from the world of bodybuilding and gave it up. Most programming models are built more in bodybuilding. That's fine. At the end of the day, though, this is what I tell people. I go, this is reality. Okay. You're going to a serious business meeting. You're in an ice storm. You get a flat going downhill, and it's 8:30 in the morning. That happened to me. And you know what? I'm sorry, but bicep curls aren't going to help me change the tire.
Yeah,
I literally walked into the meeting soaking wet and ended up landing the deal.
Yeah.
They're like, what happened? I go, flat tire. You changed it? I go, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have to think about. Life is, 20 pounds of grocery and your 3-year-old and one.
Right, exactly.
5 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
That's life.
It was at the beginning of this year where I decided to make that change again. I had let myself just be a slob, and I'm incremental, small changes all year long. And it wasn't about the weight for me, but it was like I'm struggling to get out of my bathtub because I can't bend my knee anymore. It was just one of those little things, or like I'm having a problem putting on a sock. Like that is a problem.
Well, I appreciate I appreciate your vulnerability with that. So let's look at it this way. This is a spin I always say to clients and customers. Every time you exercise, every time you move, you make a deposit in your fitness IRA.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about lifespan, it's about health span.
Yeah.
Right, you're living longer, but I don't know about you, but when I'm 80, I want to be rock climbing. I want to be doing this. I want to be doing that.
I'd like to live to then, yes, but also I don't want to be one of those ones that's just sedentary, that just sits there. I've always been an active human, so it was a shift.
Exactly. Hats off to my mother, God rest her soul. Until she was 88, that's when we had to put her in nursing home. But she was going out. She was line dancing, driving her car.
I love
playing
this.
bingo. And I'm
Yeah.
like, go, mom, go.
Yep.
She was always active like that.
By the way, shout out to everybody in our 55 plus community. Everly, I will see you later for a little bit of music bingo. We always have a good time.
Brian Kerns really I love the articles he sends me too, because people start to think that you can't do things when you're 40, 50, 60 years old, that it's not important for us people of my age. I'm 57 now to do things. No, it's important for us to maintain that.
Yeah.
Yes, we got to be careful. We don't want to hurt ourselves, and we like getting fit without getting hit. But the way Kevin's system teaches it teaches you to know your limits, to be able to push your limits but not exceed them.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can't give up because you're 50 years old and say, "Oh, I don't do that."
I have a friend of mine who we just celebrated this past weekend when I was in Miami. It was her 60th birthday, and she's lost 60 pounds.
Hey!
There you go. Good for you.
So it was one of those moments where we've always made concessions around her not being able to walk around or do stuff. And she was like powering through, walking around the streets of Miami. I was like, do you want me to carry that? No, I got it. I can do it now. And I'm like, wow. It was really nice to see that shift in her ability because before she was that person. I'm too old for that. I'm not going to learn that. I'm not going to work out.
There's your key word, the ability, ability to do stuff, the ability to do stuff. Like you know, when I know Sijo said this too. I've talked to clients, and believe me, you got to be careful. You'll get in your own head. He's
Yeah.
got problems. We all have problems.
Yeah.
We all have stuff. And can you put that aside? Can you sit with it and put that aside? If you can take can't out of your vocabulary, if you can take shoulda, coulda, woulda, because the worst thing, I'm going to tell you right now, the worst thing you can live with is regret.
Mhm.
I wish I asked them out. I wish I asked her out. I wish I started this company. I
And
wish I
how
did
many
that.
times do you even start your day or end your day with a little bit of that conversation? I should have done. I wish I had done. You can't live like that. Yeah.
I think it was Charlton Heston that said, he goes, I don't want to sit in my rocking chair and regret the things I didn't do.
Mhm.
I don't regret the things I did do.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you'll ever say I regret that I
No.
did that. Like, honestly, if you're continuing to move along with your life, you're like, well, I learned a lesson there. I
Gro-
think that's the
gro-
shift.
Growing and learning, right? Growing
Yeah.
and learning. How else do we learn?
Exactly.
Like one of my talks for schools and corporations is, can you imagine if you took think about this. Imagine if you took the 2-year-old mind and put it into the 40-year-old body. So I asked the listeners, can you remember how many times your kid fell to walk? No. There's no ego. The ego doesn't kick in until they're like 7.
Yeah.
But now if you reverse that, right? Think about that. Having a 40-year-old mind and a 2-year-old mind and a 4-year-old body, it's like, hey man, I can do anything. I can talk about anything. Now, if you reverse that, if you take the 40-year-old mind, put it in a 2-year-old body, they fall down. Oh my God, it looks stupid. Look at these clothes. Somebody's going to push me around. Hey, that's all great. Somebody's going to wipe my butt. Somebody's going to feed me.
Yeah. They don't care.
No, when you're that small human, you just have to keep going forward.
Mhm.
You don't have a choice. I want to be able to feed myself. I want to be able to go to the bathroom myself. I want to be able to find my way from school. All that,
Yeah.
all those small things we take for granted, people forget. Yeah, this stuff in life that's really scary. Everybody has their fears. Are they founded or are they unfounded?
Mhm.
Most of the times they're unfounded.
What's up, Xavier? A lot of love coming at you for that one, Kevin.
Thank you.
What's up, Jenny? How are you? These are small incremental changes you can make. Kevin Kerns is here. He's written the book, Always Picked Last. You've written another book as well.
There's Light in the Tunnel: How to Survive and Thrive with Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe you can talk about that a little bit. What
We-
brought you to that? I know it's heavy.
It's funny because I've had people read my first book like, oh, that was uplifting. Reading the second book, wow, it's kind of a downer. I go, yeah, but you know the good part about this? I'm here.
But that's what happens. You've got these hills and valleys of life, and you're going up this hill, and
Absolutely.
you're like, I'm great. I've got this wonderful book, and everybody loves it. And First Lady sent me a letter personally, and this is wonderful. And then all of that dies, and then like something happens in your life where you pivot, and you're like, what? Why am I here? I was just up here.
Oh.
Now I'm here.
Please. So you look at it, somebody I knew for 30 plus years just kind of flipped the script
Yeah.
on me. And, I'm not going to bash her. She drank this, that. The other thing, the marriage went down. I finally tapped out. And it really, the divorce was messy, as
Mhm.
messy as it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike knows my situation. My daughters haven't spoken to me in 4 years,
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
tough.
that. And that's her doing, not mine.
Yeah.
And that's something I have to live with daily. But going from like your dream house with your college sweetheart, your 2 kids, to a 1,100 square foot apartment, being broke and starting all over, and then getting sick.
Yeah.
Because let's face facts. Talk about fear. I'm like, okay, 52, starting to date again. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, thank God it's taken me X amount. Taking me what, 5, almost 5. 4,
But it
5
is a
years to find somebody.
process, and it's not something you can rush and get out of.
There's the best word, a process.
I hate the word, but it is.
But it is a process. And the difficult thing was, and I know Sijo's been there, and you have your own kids, right,
Mhm,
Stephanie?
I do.
I think that the most difficult thing for me was the first weekend not having my kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been a father for 15, 16. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I did not know what, and you have to learn how to live on your own. Like I've traveled the globe, been alone. In restaurants and this, that, and that.
No, but
I
it
got
was like,
into.
this is your life.
Yeah.
And this is where you are right now. And it's really heavy.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And things were, I was getting worse the whole bit. And then at one point she convinced the kids to move out. And that's when I went downhill.
Yeah.
And that's when the attempt happened. And I tried everything else, the pills, the therapy, this, that, the other thing. And believe me, if you haven't spoken to a therapist, go into therapy. It's great. I believe in it 100%. And, that really pushed me over the edge in December of 2019 to attempt suicide. And then thank God I ended up in McLean because of my therapist. I literally woke up in McLean on 2019, Christmas Eve, my mother's birthday. And I woke up at McLean, then I found out about ECT therapy. And if I didn't take the shot, talk about being scared, oh, we're going to shock your brain. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what it was about. Didn't know. But the weird thing is, After they said that, usually 12 sessions, you start feeling better. 3 sessions, like it was like the sky opened.
Yeah.
And then now I'm rebuilding everything, right?
Thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people have been there or are there right now and don't know what to do when they are there and think they're alone. You're not.
You're not alone. The biggest thing to realize is you matter. Have a support system, whatever support system that is. Don't be afraid. I think going back to what Sijo said, ego. I'm like, the whole time I was struggling with this, some of my friends knew, but they didn't know. I'm like, I'm Coach Kerns. I've trained these fighters. I can handle it. And it's very much, and Sijo, no offense to get gender bias, Sijo will agree. It's very much a macho thing, right? I can handle it because especially our age group. Suck it up.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Suck it up. And, you get to a point, and the fun part is when I came out about that, to date, I think I've helped 24 people between anxiety and suicide, because I came out vehemently. I'm like, this is what happened to me. I'm going to be open. And my phone started ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that for me. I did that I did because it helped me too. The weird thing is I get through that. Now I'm kind of rebuilding. And then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, geez, things. Hey, let's throw COVID at you too and lose 90% of your business.
Yeah.
Yay!
We've all been, right? Exactly. Well, and that's where my journey began. I lost a 25-year career when COVID happened. And I'm like, okay, what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. That was an old thing that Dr. Wayne Dye used to talk about. He's like, these people, it was like talk radio, right? And all of a sudden they sold the radio station.
Yep.
And people have been there for 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
that's exactly what happened to me.
And then they find out that's going to turn to gospel. And his thing was, well, this is maybe the pivot you need to make. And think about it. Look who's taking over the radio station.
Yeah, right.
God.
It's God.
Maybe he's trying to tell you something.
Take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Somebody take the wheel by me.
So you look at that, and as Sijo knows, you have to be able to pivot.
Yeah.
You have to, in martial arts, we would say this, and Sijo would agree with me. You have to know when to tap, right?
Yeah.
Sijo, you do have to know when to tap. Oh, you're going to break something.
You
gotta know when to go.
Fold them.
Know when to put it aside. Like,
now we're Kenny Rogers over
exactly.
here.
Know when to fold them. Know when to. Anyway,
I knew somebody would catch it.
I was like, you're going to gamble.
Know when to hold them. Anyway,
we're getting off track here.
Not just a little bit.
No.
When you look at the idea behind that, why not write your book?
Yep, right.
And you know what? Who cares if nobody reads it? So what? It's in you. You got to get out of it. You did it. Listen, you think I'm a writer? I'm a C-. Dr. Vizella from Everett High rolls over in his grade. I've written 338 articles for 5 magazines since 2007. Okay. And the way that started, I had Ultimate Grappling. Doug Jeffrey came to me after Kenny Florian's second fight. I started talking about weight cutting. This is back in 2007.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew the science, right?
These
he says, "Oh, he's like,
gems.
Can you write that?" I went, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes not knowing is the best thing. But one thing I realized is like what writing does, and I don't like this word, and Sijo will agree with me on this, and you'll agree with me probably too. I don't like the word expert, because one of my hashtags is always a wipeout. You're always learning, but you become an expert in that field.
Well, because you're a learner.
Yes.
I think it's really important to sometimes just shut your mouth and listen when somebody that knows a little bit more about that subject, and just take it in. And then you're taking the piece of that you need to do to fix the puzzle. You know what I mean? You're always molding yourself into something bigger and better.
Exactly.
So it's important to take that.
Well, look at one of the best podcasts out there. I think she's in the number 2 now. Mel Robbins. She says, "Who am I to start a podcast? Who am I?" Now she's number 2. Who are you to start anything?
Yep.
It's like there's a.
Well, that's your imposter syndrome talking right there, and that's a big
absolutely.
thing. And we're not that. We're not taking it.
Well, once
not taking it.
go back to the laws, right?
It's unproductive.
It's unproductive, but go back to the laws, right? Look at how laws of physics or laws in general change.
Yeah.
The law of flotation is you put stuff in water, makes it float. I don't know about you. Maybe Sijo can explain this, but can you explain this to me? How an aircraft carrier floats, the keel's made out of cement. I don't get it.
Right, exactly.
So once what's was proven is disproven. So you have to do that to yourself.
Yeah,
I can't write. Why not? Look at Bezos. Now I don't like the guy, but look at Bezos. I'm going to sell used books.
Yeah.
People go, what? Oh, did you hear of Steve,
sorry, Tim.
Steve Wozniak? Steve Wozniak's mother said, "People don't need computers; they need furniture." Duh. I bet let's look at Google. Imagine if I told you 20 years ago, "Hey, give me $1,000. I want to put into Google. What's that?
But
it's a search engine. What the hell is that?
the thing that they all have in common is that they didn't quit. An object in motion stays in motion, and that is
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely the law.
Just like invest in the wellness center down in Mashpee and see what happens.
So let's talk about the center a little bit, Sijo. What are
Okay.
people going to be expecting? How do people get involved? November 2nd is the grand opening.
Yep. We have our Facebook page, the center. My Facebook page, NBWK Family Martial Arts Academy, is also connected. Our website will be up by the end of this week, the middle of next week. Excuse me.
Thank you, Vamsi.
Yes, thank you, Vamsi. How to get involved? Come by. We're at 439 Route 151, also known as Nathan Ellis Highway, right next to Pizza Guys, right next to Fresh Rolls, White Lion Bakery, beautiful Salon 151, the nail place. So many things to do there. Come by, talk to me, talk to Bree, talk to anybody involved in the company on Facebook, Messenger, call us, get your name on the list, because we have a full, I don't know if you've seen our latest schedule. It's
Very
full.
busy.
And what you're going to have is you're going to have great classes, traditional martial arts classes, fitness classes. We have fitness trainers like Kevin. We have fitness trainers like Bree. There's going to be something for everybody there. And here's the cool part. We're taking our Reiki workers, our energy workers, our yoga instructors. Myself, I teach Tai Chi and Qigong along with traditional martial arts. And every month, we're all going to get together and do something. We're going to throw everything in the pot and see what comes out for a custom class where you'll have me for 15 minutes, maybe Jane for 10 minutes, maybe my wife for 10 minutes. And we're going to create something you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. That's for sure. Unless we open another center in another town.
All right, let's
You mean
let's start somewhere.
Are you talking franchise?
Franchise. Look at this guy.
You didn't even say that.
Ashley, I'm excited you made it today.
Yeah, and we also want to let the people in town know that we're going to be doing monthly things for the community that will be no charge. Monthly women's self-defense, monthly mindfulness classes. We got art going there. We got music going there.
Yep, whole wellness.
All the wellness things, internal and external. And that's the importance. And that's one of the big differences, internal and external. You got to work the internal.
What if we want to burn with Kerns?
If you want to burn with Kerns, you are in the right town, because I brought him to Mashpee.
That's amazing.
Okay. And we want to talk to the Boys and Girls Club. We want to talk to the real estate companies around here. We want to bring all Kevin's systems to our community, because like I said, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I could have spent years developing the DiMaggio system or whatever. Kevin's doing it. He's got proven results. I'm bringing Kevin here. He's going to certify me, and we're going to do this together.
I love it. I really love it. The center. Yeah, I'm right. We need something like that here in Mashpee, and I'm thankful that you're bringing it.
Well, you know what? That's the fourth time I've heard that today already. The comments, the community needs this. And that wasn't my goal at first, but this has grown itself. When me and Bree pushed this ball down the hill.
That's it.
Now it's this big, and we can't stop it, and we don't want to stop it. But you got to get in there, and you got to get on that 90-day challenge. We're going to have limited space.
All right. So talk to me about the 90-day challenge. What is it?
So the 90-day fitness challenge is take into account everybody's different fitness levels. Okay. So do you remember, I mean, you're what, 30?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I thought so.
Tell me more.
So it was born out of the Fit Pack. We had these boxes and we didn't know what to do with them. And a friend of mine in Toronto, martial arts school owner, wasn't certified by me. I'm lucky that in 10 years, I've certified 2,415 coaches in my system and 15 master coaches around the globe. So I traveled a lot. My friend in Toronto, I think he's living in Thailand now. I haven't seen him in years, but he had this 90-day challenge thing. And, he did it to bring people, fitness people or non-fitness people and fitness people into his martial arts, go introduce them to martial arts. So we had the Fit Pack, which had a medicine ball and a band, and my 30-minute core strength DVD. One of my mentors, Tim Barshot's Professional Martial Arts in New Hampshire, said, "Hey, coach, I got a great idea. We charge $50 for your workshop for 2 hours for, whatever workshop." He said, "What if we charge $199 and they get the Fit Pack?" He goes, "It'd be a good way to introduce them into martial arts."
And then they have a few tools.
And it worked.
Yeah.
So the idea is you'll pay, I think our price point is going to be $99. You get the med ball band, and then you'll have everything's going to be, my app's coming out in a couple of weeks. You'll have the app. So you can literally look at the workouts.
Yeah.
You're going to come in once a week on the first 4 weeks. That'll be once a week. You come in, you do the 90-day challenge with either Mike, me, or Bree, whoever. That's
Yep.
the idea behind it, and it builds. So a normal traditional strength training, what happens? If the exercise gets easier, you either increase the reps or increase the weight. We don't do that. We call it a performance tweak. So
Okay.
we'll use some of those principles: push, pull, level change, rotational locomotion, balance, and static strength to activate that. So you might do regular squats, you do 20. Okay, now we're going to activate a jump squat. Now the fun part about that is we've done this in a corporate setting. The average weight loss is 13.5 pounds over 90 days.
Okay.
13.5 pounds with 22 to 65-year-olds, which I have that. We have that all formulated.
Your statistics.
There's
Yeah.
stats everywhere. We have that. So the idea behind that is to burn as many calories as possible in a short period of time. So some of our programs like Gas in a Tank has been known to burn over 900 calories in 45 minutes
Yeah.
with trainers.
Okay.
So think about that, 900 calories. Okay, so if you want to lose a pound of fat, we all know the math, you need to burn 3,600 kilocalories. Oh, so great. So if you come to one of our classes and you burn 900 calories to 1,000 calories per class, you're more than halfway there. So that's the idea. The idea is have functionality, efficient, effective, and safe that anybody can do anywhere. We're going to be able, now with Zoom, right? We've already talked about this. We're going to put them on Zoom. So if you can't make it, it's going to be on Zoom.
And then one of the benefits of being at the center and the diverse things we have there, you come to my 90-day challenge, our 90-day challenge, you're not only going to get what we're giving you, that one, at least one class a week. You're going to get your fit pack for $100. You're going to sign up, and it's going to be $100 per month during the challenge.
Yep.
But during that challenge, you're not paying any more money. You can come to 3
Which that's affordable for somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can come to 3 Kung Fu classes. I'm going to open up my whole Kung Fu program.
Explore.
Right.
Explore. You want to try some yoga? Go to this yoga class. You want to try some fitness with Bree, her style of doing
Yeah.
things.
Lauren says that Jane's going to be there with her crystal sound baths.
Jane with her crystal sound bath. Hey, Jane is a Kung Fu junkie now. She loves
That's
the
amazing.
art. She's
Good.
My newest,
You can find her at all places.
challenge. I mean, my newest student, Jane. That's what I meant. And
you really meant challenge.
I love you, Jane. So
Mike's my newest challenge.
You know, not only do you get Kevin's expertise, this proven system, you get a nice little package that you can put on your back, and it says the center on it. You're going to get a diverse variety of classes available to you for $100 a month.
Yeah, that's really nice.
You want to come 5 days a week, you can do that.
Yeah.
With this 90-day challenge.
Well, that's it.
You will get there will be one 90-day challenge workout per week.
Yeah.
I will run. Kevin will probably be visiting us every now and then if we let him come back over the bridge. And
where is it? I don't know how to get there.
Is he allowed? This is the best time of year for you to be able to do so. You can actually function. Yeah.
It's really your best bang for the buck. And you got to get on by grand opening or the day of grand opening. Because after grand opening, prices are going up because the stuff that we're providing to people it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And you're going to save huge money. And as a matter of fact, before grand opening, I've been telling everybody everything's been free. I don't know, why isn't my room packed every single day, but it's growing.
People don't trust free.
No, they don't. All right, well, bring your money then. And
they gotta have skin in the game.
100%.
We're taking skin on November 2nd. Bring your skin and leave it.
Bring the checkbook. Bring your goats, your chickens. I don't care.
We're gonna have food there. All the wonderful food establishments in the building are going to be involved.
I'll drop in the chat where people can follow you on Facebook. I'm really excited to see this come to us.
Who's doing the food? Am I doing the food?
No, you're not doing the food.
Why aren't I doing the food?
No, because you're doing enough.
Okay.
We're going to start the day with his big class, and we're going to end the day with, I think, the 90-day challenge workout, aren't we?
Whatever you want to do. Sure.
Whatever. We're gonna figure it out when we get there.
Well, don't forget, I'm the butt end of the lion's tail too. The lion dance.
We're putting him in the lion's butt.
I don't even know what's happening over here. All I know is that
I got the booty for it.
I really wish I wasn't going to be in Nashville that weekend. If people, I know. So get involved prior to or the following weekend. There's no reason for you not to check out the center as they're opening and coming to our town because it is internal and external wellness that you're going to want to find out more about. The center, Kevin Kerns, Sijo, DiMaggio. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have a ton of events. If you're looking for something to do, I don't know why you are. You just need to go to lemonadio.com and follow us there. Hank is going to be back from vacation next week. We've got a full slate of activities. Always follow us on Facebook, events on capecod.com, lemonadio.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will see you next week. Kevin, you want to give a plug to where people can find your book, find you?
Well, you can
Maybe
go
it's
to
a talk.
Sure. You can go to burnwithkerns.com. Okay. You can find
Look
my
at
book
that.
on Audible. You can find it on Amazon. And if you want the audio video of this book, go to my YouTube channel.
Excellent. All right. We'll
Check
see you
it
guys
out.
at the center. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Oops.
Bye-bye.
Well, that should wake everybody.
You think? What are you trying to say?
Plenty of coffee.
Oh, Jesus.